Now.
Don't start.
Finish as fast as they do.
Let's see what we started.
Finish it.
Alright, so I'm going to run through attendance right quick. You'll just hang with me for a minute. Alright. Thank you, Griffin. Alright, Barnes, Muir, Carver, Crow, Kroll, Dion, Epley, Ball, Floyd Lopez, Freitas, Frisbee, Grover, Latson, Leslie, Macias, Nave is not here, correct? Schultz, Vasiliev, Wait, Williams, and Yellow.
Yep.
Alright, we're all good. Okay, so a few things before we start. I need to talk about academic contracts. You're probably already saying to yourself, what is that? Alright, so, as many of you know, today is the last day for grades to go in. Today is the last day for me to change things around. So on that note, right quick, if you do have anything you need to talk to me about, come talk to me after class or after school, and we can fix that, we can work that out. Or if you have anything you need to turn in today, turn it in today, because today's the day. Alright, I will be here after school. I have a few people already staying, so I'll be here as long as I need to. Alright, but as far as grades go, this is how it works. Alright, our first 9 weeks, okay, first 9, we have 37.5%. That's 37.5% of our grade. Our second 9 is also 37.5%. And then our final is 25. Okay? What this means basically is that in order to get a good grade, obviously you have to do well in the first and the second 9 and on the final. There is a point mathematically, as far as first period goes, the first 9 weeks, that you could fail. But honestly, I don't think any of you guys are there. But honestly, I mean, I looked at the grades before you came in. You guys are good. However, there may still be some of you. There is a
It's the wind.
It is, oh, yes, it's a win because we have the windows open. Look at that. Logical. No, there may still be some of you who do want to do this academic contract, though. Alright, I've said it a couple of times, the words academic contract. You're still probably saying to yourself, what is that?
I'll start getting our contract.
Thank you, Matt. The academic contract is this guy right here. I am offering it, I and Mr. Kennard and I are offering it to all 3 of my periods, first, second, and fourth. And it is for those students who are failing so low that they can't make up mathematically enough to pass. Alright, if you sign one of these with the 2 of us, then we will work with you and you will be able to retroactively go back and change the first 9-week grades, okay? So, that's what this is all about. The academic contract, though, is going to be offered to anyone. So if you have a B and you really want an A, then you can sign one of these and we can go back and change the grades from the first 9 weeks. Alright, however, I will not lie. This academic contract that we have come up with is a little bit intensive, alright? The academic contract basically states that if you have any absences, any at all, you have to make up all of them. And by that, I mean you have to stay after school, and I think the time is 1 hour per day missing. So if you're missing 6 days, you have to stay 6 hours total. Obviously not in 1 day. You have to make up all of your absences. Along with that, you have to make up all of the zeros that you might have from the first 9 weeks. And any assignment from then on has to be turned in on time. Not necessarily, you don't have to have 100 on it necessarily, but it does need to be turned in on time. Alright? So, it is a little bit intensive. You are going to have to do some work, obviously. If you sign this, it's binding. And we will hound you about it. Okay? But if you want to do one of these, come see me after class. Okay? Or sometime before school is over today, and we can talk about it more if you're interested. Which, if you're failing or you have a really low grade, I definitely say to look into. Okay, you can get rid of all those zeros. Or if you just really want an A and you have a B for some reason, then this will help that too. All right. For this report card, no. Alright, so basically what this is for, there are some people who, not necessarily in any of my classes, but there are people who may have a grade that's low enough so that on the report card, if they do not change that grade from the first 9 weeks, they will fail the entire class. Alright? This won't change anything on this report card. However, as soon as you sign this and start working on it, every assignment you get done, I can go back into the first 9-week grade book and change any of the zeros you may have into a higher grade. Alright? So that's what this does. If you have any more questions about this, you can talk to me, like I said, at the end of class, or even after school, if need be, if you don't have time. Alright, I definitely suggest it for any of you who feel like you really need to get back in the game and really start doing some work. Alright, so that's that. Grades, like I said, grades are today. If you just want to know your grade, I can tell you your grade later at the end of class. Just come talk to me at the end of class. Or if for some reason you can't come after class, just come after school and I can tell you your grade. And I can tell you what you're missing. I can tell you anything you like. Alright? Absences, whatever you like. Power School's pretty good about that, actually. Alright, and then one more announcement. Let's see. News. There's not too much news today, to be honest. Nothing big happened. However, today is Mole Day.
Oh yeah,
Aren't you
you
guys
hear about
excited?
the girl that like shoplifted from Victoria's Secret and like
Asheville Mall?
Yeah, that was me.
no, and then
I don't
like
think that was you,
no, she
Spencer.
shoplifted from Victoria's
No.
Secret. So the security guy like went through her bag, and then there was like the dead baby in there.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, there
Wait, is
was
this a real story?
yeah, it's all like a legit story.
Did this
They
happen
found a
here?
dead baby.
That was my baby.
In Asheville?
Me?
No, here.
Oh.
Was that
No, I
in
think
the
it's
general
like-
vicinity of us?
I don't think so. No.
Well, she broke her baby and put it in a plastic bag and put it in.
So she stole the
Yeah, and like so they found the dead baby in her purse, like no big deal.
Who
Right?
steals things with a dead baby?
Somebody who thinks they're not gonna get caught, obviously.
I don't know. That's very morbid. And that's actually really sad. I almost wish I didn't do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
on
no.
other morbid
No, it's okay.
You
And
said you
less
had a
morbid
little
news.
No,
Back
I
to
said on other morbid news.
no more morbid news, Spencer. Back to
This
not.
week on Morbid News.
If that was a television show, I would not watch it. Thankfully, I don't even have cable.
I don't watch the news anyway because it's too
You just gotta
depressing.
watch a lot.
I just heard that.
Pretty much.
Just
But
watch
no,
Colbert Report.
today
I love Colbert.
Today is Mole Day, so that's
It's also
exciting. How many of you guys have actually taken chemistry before? Most of
15 days.
most of you for 10 days. All right.
Have you done this? Have they talked to you about this? Took it 1 day.
I can check that after class.
Yeah.
Chemistry though, Mole Day. Mole Day is all about Avogadro's number. Does anyone know what Avogadro's number is?
5.
5. It's not avocado's
It's a
number.
billion numbers.
42.
6.0.
I was gonna say
6.02
that.
times
10
to the
23rd.
23rd. Yeah, because today's the 23rd. Today's 10/23. All right. I guess you could have Mole Day on 6/2 also, but for some reason they do it on 10/23. I think it's also because we're not in school on 6/02.
What's the significance of Friday?
It's a unit.
Yeah, Avogadro's number, which is a mole, 1 mole, 6.02. No, it's 6.02.
than a small.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't use it.
I think it's mainly just.
It is mainly chemistry. What Avogadro's number, what a mole is, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. That's the amount of, I guess, molecules in one atom on average.
But could that in any type of way affect the physics of anything?
Oh, sure. Because things have different weights, like something that have a different molecular weight. The molecular weight of something is determined by the amount of moles of atoms that it has. So if it has like 2 moles versus 3 moles, sure. If we're going to particle physics, things would be a little bit different. If Solomon was asking us some questions about particle physics, then we might actually talk about that. Sure. Solomon, I really like your questions. They're always very good questions. Do you have any for us before we get started?
What would happen if you if somebody could like walk through walls, but whenever they were walking through the wall, they like got halfway through and then they became mechanical and
No, that's actually a really good question. It's kind of, hold on,
That's a
Riley.
thinker.
But it kind of goes back to what we were talking about the other day when
Nothing's anything.
we were talking about nothing's touching anything. we basically, you know, we are made up of a whole lot of particles and a whole lot of molecules and stuff. So, hypothetically, it is possible if we are able to walk through walls. Why? Because we actually are just a big conglomerate of molecules. We're not really solid at all. And this table is actually not a solid object.
Nor
Nor am I touching it.
Because we're not touching it anyway.
And you're not touching it anyway.
Yeah.
Solomon, you can come up with these. But it's not solid because you can pierce it on your phone.
I think it just sits at home in my.
Solomon
He's
just
like, oh,
has
that's a good one.
really good.
That's a good one.
I think so. His questions are always very good. They're always
They
very
are.
good. Yes.
Love it.
What if our world isn't actually like what we see? What if we're actually just on like a little flower and an elephant comes along and actually finds us?
What if
I
we're
think
just a
there's a movie about
molecule?
that.
There is, but what if that's true about our world?
They are right there. There may be. All right. So enough news. Enough crazy physics. All right, guys. All right. So what we're gonna do today? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, what we are gonna do today. We are going to talk a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. Okay. We need to talk about that again quite quickly because I don't really think that I explained what I was talking about well enough. All right. Let's talk about momentum right quickly, just one more time. I know we've been talking about it all week and a little bit last week, but who can tell me what momentum is? Just off the top of your head. P. Momentum is P. No, what else is it? Momentum, mass times velocity. Energy, momentum, sure. Can be connected to energy, momentum, movement. That's exactly what I'm looking for, actually. Momentum is movement. Momentum is me walking across the classroom. Momentum is Epley chopping that picture of something. A bear. Wait, is he a bear? Oh, he's a bear. That's momentum too. Everything that's moving has momentum. All right, we know momentum is P equals mv. All right, P equals mv. That's our momentum equation. We're good with that. All right, we know everything has momentum, and we know that sometimes things have an impulse. Do we remember what impulse is? I know that was a week ago. Impulse is a change in momentum. Impulse is a change in momentum. It's very similar to acceleration or to moving, yes. To acceleration or velocity. You know how velocity is a change in distance, acceleration is a change in velocity. Impulse is a change in momentum. Fair enough. So we talked about that. And then yesterday, before we went home, or we went to our next class, or lunch, wherever you go after this, I guess, we talked about energy just a little bit. I told you we talked about it just a little bit because we're actually going to talk about that next week. But we talked about energy just a little bit. What kind of energy did we talk about? Kinetic energy. And potential energy. Thank you, Daniel. Kinetic energy, we said, looked like this. All right, it's Ke equals 1/2 mv squared. And just like all of our other equations, if you want to see that guy written in beautiful paper, it's actually, yeah, it is up there. It's in beautiful orange paper. Like our momentum is in beautiful pink paper, our kinetic energy is in beautiful orange. It's right there under power and right above work. Right. That's kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, we said, made sense to us, but why did it make sense? It makes sense because kinetic energy, just like momentum, is all about motion, right? Chill, man, chill. It's all about motion. And we said, I think, was it you here that said energy is momentum? Similar. True. We can see that in the equation also. How can we see that? Just by looking right there. These two equations look oddly similar, don't they? P equals mv. Ke equals 1/2 mv squared. Momentum and kinetic energy are related to each other. If I'm moving, then I have some sort of kinetic energy. Alright? Kinetic energy is all about the energy of motion. Potential energy, the other one that Daniel said, is all about how much energy I could potentially have. As silly as that sounds. So if I were to stand up on this chair, which I will do, but then not jump off of. If I stand up on this chair, I have a lot more potential energy than I do if I'm on the ground. Why? We'll talk about that next week. But for now, just know that kinetic energy is all about motion. It's all about motion. All right, if you have, now we're actually going to get to what we left off with yesterday. If you have the lab sheets that I gave you yesterday, can you go ahead and get those out? All right, 4 for 4, please. It looked like this guy. You don't have it. What? Yeah. If you have that from yesterday, we just need one per group, really. So as long as you protect it. You guys have one of your page here. Alright, so you guys got one. Cool. Alright, you guys, you have one? Yeah. You have yours somewhere? Good. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we're pretty good. You good, Matt? Alright. So, yesterday we struggled to get started with this lab, I guess, mostly because we tried to start on the lab with about 20 minutes left, and that's just not enough time. Frankly, there's not enough time. Alright, so what I'm going to do today, the same thing I did with first period because they had a hard time setting this stuff up, which is fine, it's understandable. And like I said yesterday, the reason we keep using this stuff is because if we don't use it, then people will say it was a waste of money. I don't think it was a waste of money. So, I would like you guys to go ahead and get your lab groups from yesterday. Sit at the same table if you could. And you guys are being really quiet before. I guess that's because we're being observed. But if you go ahead and get your lab groups, if you already are in your lab groups, if you could, and once you guys do get into lab groups, if you could make your way towards a table with a track on it. All right. So I think there's one there. If you guys want to move that track from the back table up to the one you're at, that would be great. Yeah.
Can you just turn around?
Or you can just turn around, sure. So, go. It's really hot, so I'm going to open a window if you don't mind. Yeah, so, yeah, there are rats. I know. All right. How are we doing? You got Solomon's group. You need a track. There's no track. You want me to solve this problem? Is that what you're saying? Well, you can move to the back table back there. You can move that track up here if you want. I'll tell you in a second. So you can come back here, or you guys can just bring it up there. It's up to you. You're gonna just come back here. Easier, I guess. Okay, so now that we're at a table, the first thing I want you to do, we're going to set this up together so that you guys have exactly the right things going on. First thing I want you to do is get one of the cards out of your big white box. One of those cards out of a big white box. Alright, just one of these guys. But please make sure not to drop them. Okay? And then once you get them out of your box, I want you to put it on the track and do your best to level the track. If you level the track, it should look something like this. See how my cart is not moving at all? That means my track is level. We'll see. No, it's actually good. Here's the level. How's your track? Is it level? Level track? Level track? Level. Is yours level? Let it go for a sec. Oh, you're not on. Yeah, you're good. All right. Right there. All right, so Next thing I want you to do. Alright, next thing I want you to do is to get out your 2 motion detectors. You'll see why you have 2 in a second. Get out both of your motion detectors and put 1 on each end of your track. Alright? 1 on each end of your track. Which
I
one do
was
you
with
have?
him
No
when I
motion
called.
or?
And we were in his garage, and I hung up the phone. He like picked me up. And he was
It's
like,
on the
"I'm
bottom.
sorry."
Right there.
And he,
No.
well, it's his house now.
There you go. Alright, we need 1 motion detector on each end of the track. That's right. The books are there, obviously, for a reason.
We're using a bar.
They weren't there. They just weren't living together.
The bar that, no, we're just setting them on the books.
Wait, did they say?
Alright, just set them on the books, 1 at each end of the track.
Yeah,
It's a complicated relationship.
Just like I have a
Does this
bit.
thing need to be here? Do we have to, do we use both of the motion detectors?
Yeah, we're using both. 1 on each end. Yeah. No, it does not. We'll get. Right there.
What do I put this
Just go to our left.
in? So real.
No, struggle with that.
Is that on?
Not yet. I'll show you.
Why would it?
Pull hard. You won't break it.
Mr. Ferrier.
Oh, that.
Andrew.
Alright, that needs to be lined down and
This
like that. Pull that. There we go. How do you plug it in? I'll show you this. Both of you be facing the track, 1 on each end.
Your meniscus is up here.
That one goes down here. Does that hurt? If you have any questions about it, just look up there. I have it set up for you. Alright, so we have our motion detectors, 1 at each end. One at each end like this. There are 2 cables that go with these motion detectors. There are 2 cables. There are 2 cables. There should be 2 cables. There's one right there.
Tomorrow is your last day without liquid.
That's the right one. Yeah. The black one came with a USB cord. Alright, so hook up the USB cord to the black motion detector. And once you plug it into the motion detector, the USB input, alright, the black one, the USB input on the LabQuest, okay, you can get that out. The USB input on the LabQuest is on the left-hand side, alright. So, if you look at it, the LabQuest, you're looking at it like this. It's on the side that the string is not coming out of. That's it. Right.
Oh,
See it? Right there. And just stick it in here.
wait, which one?
The USB.
But
Black.
there's 2.
The one coming from the black.
This one?
Yeah. Stick it into the side right there.
I don't need it. I just try
Alright, and then you have one more cord. You have the cord with the 2 white ends that we've used before. Alright, the cord with the 2 white ends from your green motion detector. And that one of the white ends plugs into the top of your LabQuest. Alright, the top of your LabQuest. Alright, come around and see if you guys are doing alright. Both plugged in. Alright, awesome. Over here. Alright, good. You guys got it. Both ears.
You get a Southeastern? You get a Southeastern?
It's because I'm
Again, white.
it's we have to do so much more. And
That one
then
goes.
like and then I'm like the smartest kid.
Okay.
Like, oh my god, tell me more. And then like the teacher's like, alright, hey, which should give us like half the available.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Alright, so as of right now, we should have our LabQuest set up to our motion detectors. If you have any questions about how it's set up, you can just look up here. Alright, if you need to plug your LabQuest into the table with the power cord, you probably will, because mine's already dead. I literally just unplugged it. You can plug it in. Alright, turn it on. Alright, and then I'll explain one more thing before I can let you guys loose on this lab.
What if our table doesn't work?
What, your
Like
left?
our plug.
Your plug?
It don't have.
It doesn't work. See if you can plug it into the table in front of you.
Wait, oh wait. Oh, shit, that's the wrong thing. Never mind.
Are you good, Epley?
I do know if it's charging.
Oh. Oh, well, wait for it to turn on first. Yeah, I do.
Well, it was just on.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I think you're good.
No, this is the teacher one, so it's a teacher.
The Wi-Fi is actually coming from the room. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm
Alright, I think we're all good. Alright, one last thing before I let you guys loose. My lab quest is still starting up. However, alright, guys in the back, someone's group up here too. Alright, so you have 2 carts, right? You have 2 carts. What I want you to do is take the 2 carts and stick them together using the Velcro. Alright, stick them together. Like that. Alright? They're both on the track. What you're going to do is set them in the middle of the track. Okay, set them both in the middle of the track. And then once you have them there in the middle of your track, come on your lab quest. Alright, your lab quest. And you're on this screen right here. The first screen with the red and the blue.
It says battery is closed.
Alright, plug it into the wall or to the desk in front of you if you can. Alright, so here's what we have. We have the screen with the red and blue, right?
No,
Click the
I don't
button.
see blue.
That says sensors. It says sensors. A little menu will drop down. Are you on the, which screen are you on? You
Does
good?
that work?
Alright, click the button that says sensors. A little menu will drop down.